साथ मैं हूं नाइला Shuja and you're watching Rise and Shine with Bahria University. Today we're sitting with a motivational speaker and a trainer within the education sector and the corporate world. I would like to introduce you all to Mr. Sahil Adeem. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Sahil Adeem. Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu.
How are you?
I'm good, great, alhamdulillah.
It's really a pleasure to have you here right now because I'm going to learn so much from you.
Inshallah, me
because this is a field of mine or an interest of mine.
Okay.
To be able to talk to people, to be able to influence them, and to be really able to understand their perspective and to motivate them to become better individuals and you know, push them forward and unleash their potential. So I would like to start off by asking you, what is training and why is it important?
Well, the real question to ask is, what is a problem and how do we solve it technically?
Yeah.
That's the exact scientific way of looking at what your question is. Because people generally say, what is training? How do I become a trainer? And how do I influence people, specifically their thought? And then, of course, action. But the real problem in that statement is that there is no one way of defining the word teaching or training because, you know, as many people as there are those many factors that affect a public speaker. Har tarah ki audience to hai, wherever we go. Wherever anyone is going to speak, even if a mother is talking to a child, she cannot apply the same technique. The same mother cannot apply the same technique on her other child. Yeah. Because the dynamics change. Yeah. So the real question, and for everyone who wants to become a professional trainer and correct professional trainer, he needs to ask this question in a way that, what is a problem that I see already, how do I solve it? Yeah. And then we dig into that problem as to what angle are you taking to analyze that problem. How researched are you? What is the psychology behind the human being? And then the physiology of the whole room, and the, you know, because as soon as a trainer enters a room, or a teacher, or even a boss, because we do all three realms, he brings with him a climate. Yeah. And that climate,
aura of sorts.
Yeah, well, that's another good word, aura. But that aura actually triggers a lot of chemicals inside the brain, a lot of psychology inside the mind, which actually can, before even he speaks, he might have just lost the crowd already. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? It's not just the person, but there are three factors: the climate, the speaker, and the listener. These are the three climates that you have to understand fully. From all angles before you can actually become a trainer. So this is this is the science of balancing these three factors to solve a problem, whichever you see, and whatever is calling from within you, that, you know, this is what I
Which
came
appeals to you more?
Well, I think the right statement would be, of why did I come to this planet? You know, the bigger purpose. Yeah. Okay. And that is going to give you a lot of problems. That's the telescope you're going to get. That's the microscope you're going to get. Yeah. As soon as you're going to find or go closer to your purpose, you'll actually understand that there are so many problems in this planet. Because that's the wisdom. That's why people keep talking about, you know, chase your purpose. Yes. Every teacher you've ever seen say, you know what, just go towards your purpose, your inner calling. Yeah. Because that is the sound of wisdom that is going to give you eyes and widen your gaze as to look bigger, broader, and then deeper into what the real problems are. And then those problems are going to attract you towards getting their solution.
All right. So you're the chairman at the Source Code as well. Yeah. So how did you come or create this organization, and what is the purpose of this organization?
The same answer. I saw a problem. Yeah. And you know, I started gathering up the right people to solve a problem, because one man cannot do everything in this planet. That's why Allah sent so many. Yeah. Because we had to collaborate and, you know, make a force to actually do anything in this planet, little and big. True. So I went in. The problem that I saw was that we were literally doing in every field, from doctors to lawyers to, I mean, look around yourself, from media professionals to politicians to teachers, even to parents. Yeah. Everybody was just winging it. They were just, you know, doing whatever they think was right because it was being done before.
Or has been taught to them.
I doubt if anything has been taught technically. But yeah, you can say, if you want to call that teaching, but yeah. So that's why we as a nation have lost faith in the word profession. or a professional for that
Yeah.
matter. Even a doctor, you know, we can't just, you know, walk into a guy who's just got an MBBS because we just don't think that's good enough.
Yeah.
And just another lawyer, you know, we're always double checking, skeptically looking into every single thing all the professionals are doing, because the professionals have made a mess out of this.
Yeah.
And the worst calamity is that when this sort of virus enters the faculty of teachers, specifically school teachers, wherever the standards are really set.
Yeah.
And when kids think that, you know, if these are the standards of what life is and what correctness is and what good, better, or best is, or right or wrong, you know, those are the standards. Then he, you know, he kind of settles himself that, you know what, this is what life is.
Yeah, they become comfortable with what they have.
Comfortable with the lowest standards.
Yeah.
And hence, they chase those lowest standards, if at all, some standards, all throughout their life in whatever profession. And that's why you can see any and every, from our presidents and prime ministers to our, you know, low-end staff, even to our janitors. Everyone is trying to, you know, just put the dirt under the carpet.
Yeah.
Because they think it works, and that's how people are doing it. So there's a lot of, you know, I can talk about this for 2 hours, but that's primarily what I saw, that, you know what, this is something we got to fix. So I got into a professional training and teaching arena. I gathered up doctors who I knew were credible, who were around the globe.
Yeah.
I gathered up psychologists, and we made a big team. And then I explained to them what I see as a problem. They shared a joint purpose and vision that, yes, we do feel the pain. So I became a motivational speaker to those 8-10 people. And I kept on doing it. For a couple of years, they said, okay, you know what? Enough is enough. Let's just take the plunge. And everybody joined forces, quit all their jobs to put all the resources together, because time was the only resource at that time for us. Because
so what did you think was the problem?
This specific entity of thought.
Oh, right.
I specifically think that, and I believe that this lowest standard of thought, that, you know, we can compromise with everything specifically that matters to the bigger purpose of life. That is the compromise. That is the sport that we all play, compromising on standards of thought. So वो है ना पाकिस्तान में कि चलो कम से कम ये तो है, ये जो है ना ये compromise कर सकते हैं हमारा.
Bare minimum तो है.
Yeah, और अभी वो आता है ना वो लड़की का रिश्ता, तो कहते हैं चलो कम से कम नौकरी तो है उसकी, चाहे हराम ही कमाता हो, नौकरी तो है. एक वक्त आएगा जो कहेंगे चलो कम से कम हाथ पैर तो हैं उसके, इंसान तो है. कम से कम पे ना वो पॉलिटिशियन चूज करना हो, चलो कम से कम चोर तो नहीं है ना. You know, why is that even a criteria?
क्या कहते हैं, least corruption उसने की भी है तो उसको वोट डाल देते हैं.
ये हर देखिए प्रेसिडेंट से लेके छोटे से बच्चे तक कम से कम ये तो है ना, वो स्कूल का बच्चा चोरी करते पकड़े, कम से कम यूनिफॉर्म तो पहन के आता है ना,
जूते तो साफ है.
So this is the standard of thought that actually led us to this. We have to start at the best, not stop at the best.
Yeah. So
you know
when you started training individuals, what was the kind of what was the hurdle that you faced in the first initial trainings that you set out to do?
Alhamdulillah, I didn't.
You didn't? Okay.
I would like to think that I was a struggler. I never. I was the luckiest man on the planet. Ever since I can remember. I was a child. I got great teachers.
Yeah.
I had awesome teachers. I mean, it's like, it's beyond measure. Ever since I can remember, from grade 3 and till my university professors. I mean, they were just kind-hearted, competent people who had a mission. Yeah. So I owe it to all of those people. That,
so they played a vital role in who you are.
Yeah, no man in the planet, except the Prophet ﷺ, are going to do anything without the help of other people. And that's where the standards of thought really matter, because greatness is suppressed inside our own house by our parents. Every child is born great. And he could become Jinnah and Iqbal and whatever he wants to be. It's the mother and father that says, nahi, naukri karni hai tumne. You know, 50,000 rupees mahina. 50,000. No, they're not. They don't mean doctor. You know what they mean? They mean status. They mean accept a minimum level of money. They don't mean. They don't even know what doctor is.
That's true.
You know what I'm saying? What they require is a particular status quo that they can actually brag about, or actually some sort of money that actually comes in their house, so that this child is not going to die hungry, as if someone in their lineage has died hungry. I don't know where this fear comes from. But So this is, you know, the whole parable of what we see as a bigger problem.
All right. So let's talk about your audience now. What was the most prominent audience that you might have had during your trainings?
You mean in particular to some people, or?
Yeah, in particular to some people that you seem to have had a huge impact on. Like, obviously your trainings do have an impact on everyone, but you feel that you made a special connection with this person, and you know, you see it in their eyes that everything has just changed for them.
Okay, well, most of mine is not a company, mine is a mission.
Yeah.
So when you're talking about a purpose,
yeah,
you never get nervous. You always are at your full game. You actually long for bigger audiences so that the message can go across bigger, more family units, more people. So it is not what it's not what the kind of connection I made with my audience. We are training in 3 different realms. We are training, I've just about done 70 universities already. I'm on a tour all the time, and I never charge students any money.
Yeah.
And I'm doing just about every other school now. You know, that faculty is trained professionally on our commercial aspect.
Yeah.
But students, you know, we lift the standards as much as we can.
That's
for without any money. And then we have a corporate sector, and then we train parents.
Oh wow.
Yeah, that's because home, school, and office. These are the 3 categories that we have 3 different teams who work for psychological correctness of content and physiological correctness of content. When a trainer goes into the audience, he's already prepped up on the source code. That's why we call it the source code. The source code of what the content is, and how he's going to carry himself psychologically correct and physiologically able to balance the audience's mind, the speaker's mind, and the climate around it. So I was, just to answer your question quickly, I can think of prominent people in all of these 3.
Yeah.
But I would like to tell you a little story about this one instance. 2 girls who just had entered that university. And this little girl just you know, said, "Sir, aapse 1 minute baat karni hai." And I said, "Sure, bole."
Yeah.
And she said, "Nahi sir, zara personal baat hai, to can we take you a little on the side?"
Yeah.
And I said, "Beta, abhi idhar hi bolo." I was so off. I was like, "Sir, beta, idhar hi bolo. Aisi kya baat hai jo aapne mujhe wahan pe karni hai?" She said, "Sir, we please.
Yeah.
Aap zara sa side pe aa jaye." I said, "Okay, aisa karo. Walk with me." I didn't even want to waste time. I said, "Walk with me till I get out of the university." And they were walking with me, and they just, you know, hopping, because I walk fast.
Yeah.
And this girl said, "Sir, hame apna purpose pata hai." And I looked at him and I said, are you for real?
Yeah.
How old are you? And she said, "Sir, I am 20.
Yeah.
And the other one was, I think, even younger.
Oh,
and I said, "Well, what are you studying here?" And she just entered, or maybe she was in the 2nd or 3rd semester of BBA or something. And I said, "Beta, kya pata hai aapko purpose ka?" And she said, "Hum दोनों जब से एक दूसरे को बचपन की दोस्त हैं दोनों, हम बात ये करते हैं, और जब आपने बात शुरू की है अपने सेशन की, तो हमें ऐसा लग रहा था हमारे लिए आए हैं, हम तो वेट करते, ऐसा कौन हमें बताएगा आगे?" ऐसा क्या पर्पस पता आपको? ऐसा क्या आप मुझे बताएं? एंड शी सेड, "सर, मैंने बचपन से, जब से मुझे पता है कि ये मसला है, यू सेड प्रॉब्लम नजर आएगी तो आपको सोल्यूशन मिल जाएगा." I said, "क्या प्रॉब्लम नजर आई?" शी सेड, "मैंने ट्रांसजेंडर्स का स्कूल खोलना है." And I got stunned.
Yeah.
I just stopped there and I took my bag off and I said, "Baitho putter, ab to baat hogi." Why do you think that's a problem? She explained so eloquently as to where she sees the problem, and then I said, "Okay, what is the solution?" Then she said, "We just need a school right now. We'll see where we'll.
Yeah.
But we need a school."
Yeah.
I said, "School to bahut hai."
That's the beginning.
Yeah, but at that age, that child turned my perspective around.
Yeah.
And I called my team and I said, "Don't cancel my tour. I'm not going to stop this, because these gems, these diamonds are sitting there in the rough.
Yeah.
And they're just waiting for any pat on the back. And that, you know what, that not just to motivate and do whatever the hell that you want to." वो है ना motivational speakers जो हर बात पे कहते हैं, "Chase your passion."
Yeah.
People have a passion for marijuana. They cannot just chase their passions. And passion is a very temporary state.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Passion to be cool, passion to be famous. बच्चों को जा के बता रहे हैं, chase your passion.
Yeah.
So you need to see where the problem is, and if you're not seeing the problem, that means you're not old enough, even if you're 90. And if you are seeing the problem, it doesn't matter how old you are. This child at 19 can see the problem, And then I told her and I said, बेटा पर्पस के लिए लाइफ देने के लिए तैयार है? You know the prices? She said, कितने पैसे लगेंगे? I said, बेटा पैसे नहीं लगेंगे इसमें. Are you willing to die single with your father going through a heart attack? कि उसकी बच्ची किस लेवल किस टैग से मशहूर है पाकिस्तान जैसे मुल्क में, आपकी अम्मा जो कि nervous breakdown से फौत हो जाएंगी. This is the price that you have to pay for bigger purposes.
Yeah.
Because
you have to sacrifice a lot of things.
Yeah, and then she kept staring at me. She
like,
said,
what are you saying?
Yeah,
How?
and I said, okay, बेटा आपने तो आधा घंटा सुना है, बाकी का आधा घंटा मैं आपको अभी सुना देता हूँ. And 2 days later, both of them called me and they said, sir, we're willing to sacrifice. This is the statement she gave. She said, sir, we're willing to sacrifice 2 people for the sake of so many.
Oh wow.
You know what I'm saying? 2 बंदे तो मरेंगे. And I said, बेटा 2 से ज़्यादा ही मरेंगे, मगर अगर आपने इन 2 की कुर्बानी का फैसला कर लिया तो फिर अल्लाह ताला आपका हामी व नासिर, आप छलांग लगाएं. Next day they made the Facebook group for that. I'm still guiding them as much as I can, but they're so passionate.
Well, चलें ठीक है, इधर ही हम पॉज करते हैं. But ladies and gentlemen, हम एक छोटी सी ब्रेक लेंगे. We'll be right back. And we're back, ladies and gentlemen. So I was just talking to Mr. Sahil Adeem. We were talking about how in a sea of people, you can still find 2 gems, 2 to 3 gems, right?
Yeah, I'm sure there are many. I'm just giving you a story which, you know, comes on top of my head. There have been so many people, kids, parents,
adults,
especially mothers, who have really changed the way, actually given me more reinforcement as to don't stop.
You're making such a difference in our children's lives.
And it's not, of course, I don't make no difference. It's them who actually, you know, get that little light.
Yeah, but I think
we're just catalysts of the reaction. We're not the cause of any reaction. No human being is. We're sent to this planet as catalysts of chasing whatever is already written inside our design. That's why we want to do whatever we want to do.
But I think it's the fact that there's someone who's giving us that liberty to actually step out of our comfort zone and actually grow and become the people that we're supposed to be. It's kind of a wonderful feeling because everyone around you is usually like, ye na karo, wo na karo, log kya sochenge. So having someone saying, you know what, it's okay to make mistakes, it's okay to fall, but you have to get back up. Having someone believe in you like that, I think it's a very powerful message, and it's needed in our schools, universities, even work. And so moving from that, I would like to ask you, आप prepare किस तरह करते हैं अपने आप को? Obviously आप में इतनी energy कहाँ से आती है? आप अपने audience को कैसे वो hit करते हैं इतनी positivity के साथ?
Okay, 2 चीज़ें. I must tell you that when we open a company, we wanted to brush off the dirt in the teaching and training industry. Yeah. So 2 चीज़ें हैं. एक तो when you know a problem and when you feel for it, then you know you're gonna run towards the solution. Yeah. So that's the mental preparation. Before every session, before even coming to this interview, I had to think of what is the bigger problem. Why did I do this? So that whenever any question comes to me, I can actually, through this medium, cause somebody's mind to change that yes, that is a problem. I want to believe that credibility can exist in Pakistan. So एक तो ये है जो mental preparation है. दूसरा, correctness of science. We opened this company. हमारी कंपनी को लोग science of things के नाम से जानते हैं, source code के नाम से कम जानते हैं. Scientists कहते हैं हमें, because we are all scientists in this company who are मैं किसी भी सेशन से पहले जाता हूँ, मुझे एक 9-box प्लॉट मिलता है मेरे पैनल की तरफ से. आई माई सेल्फ एम अ साइकोलॉजिस्ट. वो साइकोलॉजिस्ट के जो पैनल है वो मुझे देते हैं कि किस तरह का रिस्क है इस तरह के सेशन में, क्या स्ट्रेच है उसका, उसकी किस तरह की केमिकल बेस रखनी है आपने. अभी मैं जिस तरीके से बात कर रहा हूँ एंड द काइंड ऑफ वर्ड्स आई एम चूजिंग, every word creates a thought.
Yeah.
Every thought creates a chemical reaction inside your brain. You have to understand that.
Yeah.
There are so many chemicals. So now we know just about what chemical does what. So हर लफ्ज़ का चुनाव एक खास reaction की तरफ जाना चाहिए. And the bigger motion of that inner sea of all the hormones going inside should not create that sort of casualness. At the same time cannot create as much as fear. So these are the two edges of the spectrum. So we have to stay inside the bell as to where we are placing our words.
Yeah.
क्या पर्पस था इस कमरे में आने से पहले लोगों को क्या नीड थी उसको वहाँ तक ले जाने के लिए 3-4 मेन हर्डल्स क्या हैं उससे पहले बड़ी डिटेल प्रोफाइलिंग करते हैं. Actually we make more profiling sessions than we make training sessions in source code. We understand what people are and then that's when we go. Individual profiling पहले होती है, फिर group profile होती है, फिर climate check होता है, फिर trainer की अपनी profile check होती है. हर trainer हर training के लिए ठीक नहीं होता. हर trainer हर training पे ठीक हो भी तो कुछ trainings पे ठीक हो भी तो वो उस training के फला audience पे ठीक नहीं होगा. So ये 3 factors भी check किए रहते हैं. So when I'm entering a state, there's so much homework being done by 12 different people for single session. That's why we are one of the most expensive companies in the country. And we're not just a training company. वो नहीं है कि बस 4 बच्चों को शौक उठा और उन्होंने कहा चलो लोगों से बातें करने का. I love to talk to people. ये हमारी ट्रेनिंग कंपनी के पीछे बैक हॉल. किसी भी ट्रेनिंग कंपनी के बंदे से पूछें या टीचर से ही पूछें. I just like to be around people. Then just go attend some weddings. Don't be don't be in a people influencing business because you can actually influence them into a really wrong path.
Yeah.
और यही हो रहा है.
So how do you connect with your audience?
This is the base plan. This is called the source code. हर ट्रेनिंग से पहले एक source code plot होता है. उसको फिर डबल चेक किया जाता है हर एंगल से. फिर उसको एक खास रिहर्सल में डालते हैं हम. एक्टिविटीज ज़्यादा होती हैं हमारी because see the real problem with the education system and the training system right now is आपने यूनिवर्सिटी की ट्रेनिंग भी देखी है, कॉर्पोरेट में भी वही होती हैं. ये आई कहाँ से हैं? ये वो 1910 के 1860 के एजुकेशन मॉडल से आई हैं कि क्लासरूम में बच्चों को बंद करो, ब्लैक बोर्ड के ऊपर लिखना शुरू कर दो. दिस इज द एग्जैक्ट ऑपोजिट ऑफ हाउ ह्यूमन बीइंग्स एक्चुअली वर डिजाइन्ड टू लर्न. सो वी नो व्हाट टू डू kinesthetically, audio and visually, and then the overall experience of the brain which is going to go through whatever the trainer, the training and the audience and whatever the factors. So इस preparation के लिए हमने proper science के ना tools, instruments use किए जो कि हम release भी करते हैं client को. सबसे पहले हम map देते हैं कि this is the physiological map. Right now, for example, right now I know the chemical balance between your pituitary gland in the brain and mine. I know what's going on. I'm very careful as to maintain it. जब audience ने देखना है तो उनको भी मुझे थोड़ा सा anticipate किया हुआ मैंने कि what kind of angle I should take or perspective I should take to this specific discussion. ताकि लोगों को एक settlement की feeling आए कि you know what, yeah he's right, but he's also not letting me go that afraid. You know what I'm saying? So this is what happens when psychologists and doctors come into the teaching and training arena.
Well, that's excellent. All right, so my next question is, when you train your audience, do you prefer working in a large group or a small group, and what are the benefits of it?
Actually, scientifically speaking, the lesser the audience, the better.
Yeah.
Because then you can focus. But it's technically a very commercial decision in terms of the client. They put as many people as they can. I've trained 1,200 at one time. And I said it's not a training session, it's a speaking session now because I don't know anything about the people who I cannot interact with. My control is lost already before even entering the room. I'm just going to be speaking. It's going to be a thought building. We call it the knowledge center. There's a skill development center and then there's a knowledge center in source code. We already, as soon as we found out the number of audience that they're trying to push in, it was a retailer in Pakistan. So and they got everybody in a conference and they said you're going to have 2 days with them. And I said for 1,200 people I need a year.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Profits require
a
certain time to change this number of audience. You're telling me to put a change in a day for 1,200 people.
Yeah.
And this guy was the CEO. He said whatever you can do with one, you can do with 1 million. I said yeah, at thought level.
Yeah.
Not at skill level.
Yeah.
Okay. And that
still takes time, obviously.
Yeah, and that's the one statement he said, you know what, I want to work with you for ever.
Yeah.
And he's, he keeps on doing whatever we want him to do with the audience now. Clusters भी वो अपने हमारी मर्जी से बनाते हैं अब. प्रोफाइलिंग हमारी मर्जी की वजह से कॉम्बो लगाते हैं वो जेंडर्स का experience ka, you know, because he understood the fact that yes, he's been confusing knowledge centers with training centers, and then the motivational speaking, which you introduced me, I'm not known as a motivational speaker. Actually, I'm known as a demotivational speaker. Okay, because I you know, I'm not about that fluff that people, you know, get really, you know, laughy about. That yes, I had such a great feeling. That's just dopamine levels going up. They have a withdrawal of 16 minutes. 16 minutes after the session, they will their dopamines are going to go down, then they'll forget everything about whatever I said, and also will not be motivated anymore, because that's just a temporary lash that your brain is just giving you of whatever kind of words that I spoke.
Temporary high of sorts.
That's literally the right word for dopamine, because it does give you a high state.
So now, what kind of trainings do you like to you know, carry out? Some of your personal favorites.
Well, there's no one. See, I prefer giving leadership training.
All right.
I don't just like it because my personal favorite would be to train the trainers to become trainers. You know what I'm saying? But leadership training is my preference, because I know that what you can do with leaders in one day, you cannot do with the mass in 1 year. That's why whenever there is a leadership program, we go in such a detail. And the best part about us, our companies, is that none of our program is repeated. We make a new program
content हर वक्त generate
because audience बदल रही होती है, उसकी profile की base पे we have to change the source code of the content every single time. And that's the best part about being in my team. I always get to see that, you know, I'm never going to get bored. I have to come up with a totally different angle based on the kind of audience I'm giving and getting for this. But leadership is the preference because of the, see, when you have to solve a problem, you go to the father of the house. He's going to do it quicker. If you go to the mother, she'll be like, beta baat karti hu abbu se aapke. So you know that, you know what, leadership ki training mein sabse zyada impact aa sakta hai, jaldi problem solve ho sakti hai. So that's why whenever there's a leadership program, we have 5 flagship programs. One of them is leadership, rest are a few are technical programs. But leadership की मेरी preference इस वजह से है.
तो आपको क्या लगता है कि leadership जो अभी जो हमारे trainers हैं या leaders, bosses, teachers, prominent authority figures, वो कौन से skills हैं जो वो lack करते हैं in terms of leadership?
I have attended more trainings. मेरी company का एक और target भी है, हर trainer ने training लेनी होती है X number of hours. I have 100 hours मुझे मिले में target to attend the training, so that I can see इल्म तो हर वक्त हासिल करना आपने. मैंने जो बात नोट की है, I'm talking about mainstream here, निजी सतह पे क्या पता कोई बड़ा प्रोफेसर क्या बात कर रहा हो अपनी छोटी यूनिवर्सिटीज़ के अंदर, स्कूल्स के अंदर, जो मेन स्ट्रीम है ना, उसमें तो लीडरशिप की एट्रीब्यूट सिखाए जाते हैं. दे डू नॉट हैव एनी मॉडल, सो वी हैव टू कम अप विद अ मॉडल व्हिच हैज़ टू बी साइकोलॉजिकली करेक्ट, मोरली करेक्ट. पूरी टैक्सोनॉमी हमने बनाई थी लीडरशिप की, और हम लीडरशिप के प्रोग्राम पे चले गए. पीपल अंडरस्टूड कि हाँ, हमें तो मॉडल ही नहीं पता था. फॉर एग्जांपल, आई कैन गिव यू अ लॉट ऑफ स्पीच अबाउट लीडरशिप, बट आई वोंट बी एबल टू टेल यू कि अगले 5 साल के अंदर अंदर क्या क्या आपने करके किस तरीके से करना है. Because right after this room, you will know a lot of characteristics and attributes, but you won't know how to measure your leadership and how to compare your leadership with the absolute leadership modeling. So you need a taxonomy for this. You need a
step-by-step guideline.
Yes, a classification of what first, what second, and what last. So we had to come up with this. There is no taxonomy that is being taught in even universities. So that's the best thing, because we were the first movers in there. That's why we were picked up with everybody. That हमें वो leadership का taxonomy का पूरा course करना. It's a 7-day program for leadership, and most of it is thought building. We have a lot of activities kinesthetically.
तो आप लोगों के thoughts किस तरह बदल सकते हैं? I mean, lifelong एक process होता है जो जिसमें वो comfortable हो जाते हैं. तो आप 7 दिन में उसको किस तरह change कर सकते हैं?
देखिए, thought बदलने में तो 1 second लगता है. You know what I'm saying?
Persuasive.
Action बदलने में ना उम्र लग जाती है. उसके लिए physiological balance ज़रूरी है ना. See, there are certain chemicals that react differently. अगर मैं अभी यहाँ पे ज़लज़ले की आवाज़ आई ना, या आवाज़ के झटके लगे या फिर बम की आवाज़ आई, तो हम दोनों आधे सेकंड में यहाँ से निकले हुए होंगे. अब वरना कोई हमें ड्रैग करता रहे, हम यहाँ से नहीं निकलेंगे. So situation changes action, because the thought एक्चुअली क्रिएट्स अ केमिकल रिएक्शन। अगर यही केमिकल रिएक्शन एड्रेनलिन लेवल पे होगा तो हम जल्दी करेंगे काम, ठीक है, वो अलग बात है भाई, टेम्पररी स्टेट होगी वो, मगर हमें इसका एक कॉम्बो हमने बनाया हुआ है। We make a lot of potions, just like with the wizards and witches in my company. And then we experiment and then we reduce the inference और फिर उसको प्लॉट करते हैं, फिर पैटर्न एनालिसिस। तब तो अल्हम्दुलिल्लाह हमारे लाखों में एक्सपेरिमेंट हो चुके हैं। सो वी नो कि टेक्सोनॉमी पहले देने से एटलीस्ट अनलर्निंग का प्रोसेस स्टार्ट हो जाता है। और आपकी बात सही है, लीडरशिप का सबसे बड़ा मसला पाकिस्तान में लीडरशिप है। पाकिस्तान में लीडरशिप का सबसे बड़ा मसला ही लीडरशिप है। दैट फेक डेफिनेशन ऑफ लीडरशिप जिसकी वजह से पाकिस्तान पूरा समझता है कि लीडरशिप यही है, इस वजह से चाहे वो प्राइम मिनिस्टर से पार्लियामेंट हाउस में हो या चाहे आपके घर के फर्द हो, हमें बताया ही गलत गया था शुरू से कि ये लीडरशिप होती है। तो जब तक हमें लीडरशिप का असल में नहीं पता होगा, मानने वाले अल्लाह रसूल के हम, मगर लीडरशिप हमने पार्लियामेंट हाउस से उठानी होती है। यू नो दिस इज द डिलेमा, बिकॉज हमें वो एक कैनिबलाइज कर दिया गया ना, आर मोरल्स वर कॉम्प्रोमाइज्ड, हर चीज़ ही कॉम्प्रोमाइज थी। हमारी टैक्सोनॉमी बड़ी सिंपल सी है, मोरल सेंस, इमोशनल सेंस, रैशनल सेंस, सिविक सेंस एंड देन पॉलिटिकल सेंस।
ओके,
ये चारों चीज़ें।
So you're starting inward, outward.
Yeah, moral has to be first.
Yeah.
And political sense बच्चे को तो नहीं सिखा सकते आप ना। So सबसे पहले तो moral sense, it's a very logical taxonomy. और moral sense की base इसलिए भी हमने बड़ी रखी हुई है कि moral sense आपको politics में भी चाहिए। You know, it cannot be कि moral sense सबसे ऊपर pyramid पे रखते हैं। We need it as a base.
Yeah.
And then emotional sense, then rational sense of critical thinking. अभी खुद सोचें ना, मैं अगर आपसे अभी नवाज शरीफ की अच्छाई करूँ आप कहेंगे, बुराई करूँ आप कहेंगे, आप PTI के, यू नो, क्रिटिकल थिंकिंग ही नहीं है कि ये कोई और पर्सपेक्टिव भी हो सकता है, सिर्फ मेरे खिलाफ या मेरे साथ होना जरूरी नहीं है इस चीज़ का। सो रैशनल सेंस उसके लिए है, लीगल सेंस होनी चाहिए, आर्ग्यूमेंटेशन प्रेमिस बनाना चाहिए बच्चे को भी, केस बनाना। स्कूल्स में करा रहे हैं हम, हमारा स्कूल का बहुत अच्छा प्रोजेक्ट चल रहा है, हम स्कूल में हम 10 साल की ट्रेनिंग है वो बच्चे की। और उसमें उसने बुक्स भी लिखनी है, उसने लॉयर बनना है, नॉट एज अ प्रैक्टिशनिंग लॉयर बट द सेंस ऑफ आर्ग्यूमेंट, केस कैसे बनता है, किसी से बात करते वक्त डिबेट की नस कैसे पकड़ते हैं, और फिर कम अल्फाज में सबसे बड़ी बात कैसे की जाती है ना। दिस इज व्हाट क्रिटिकल थिंकिंग प्रेमिस इज। क्रिटिकल थिंकिंग असल में बात करने के फन को नहीं कहते, मगर उसके लिए बात करने का जो फन है ना, जो साइंस है, वो सबसे ज्यादा जरूरी, जवामिल इल्मी कहते हैं इसको, कि सबसे ज्यादा कॉम्प्रिहेंसिवली आपने प्लेस करना अपना आर्गुमेंट, की समझ भी सबको आए और आप रिफ्यूट भी कर रहे हो द अदर पार्टी। और उसके बाद फिर सिविक सेंस, एज अ सिटीजन, ग्लोबल सिटीजन में सबसे ज़्यादा ज़रूरी क्या चीज़ें मेरे ऊपर, और फिर लोकल जो डेमोग्राफिक, यहाँ पे जियोग्राफिकली मुझे पे लॉज लगते हैं वो क्या हैं, वरना हमें 50 लॉज तोड़ते हैं, पता तो होता नहीं, और जो पता होता है उसके ऊपर हम लोगों को क्रिटिसाइज कर रहे होते हैं कि ये इसने ये बात गलत की, बिकॉज इनको एक ग्लोबल अपर्चर जो है ना इनका खोल के दिया नहीं गया था बचपन से। एंड देन द पॉलिटिकल सेंस, ये तो बहुत छोटी एंटिटी है, वेरी वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट, दैट्स व्हाई आई पुट इट ऑन द टॉप, बट इट इज द लीस्ट ऑफ माय वरीज राइट नाउ। आई थिंक मोरालिटी, आप इस टैक्सोनॉमी के ऊपर आप दुनिया के किसी भी लीडर को नाप लें, आपको समझ आ जाएगी कि मैं गलत वोट देती नहीं हूँ, क्योंकि उसके बेस मोरल्स ही नहीं है, या अगर मोरल्स हैं भी कहीं ना कहीं से मेरा बायसनेस भी तो होती है कि मैं मोरल है, तो उसकी इमोशनल सेंस इतनी वीक है, फिर वो रैशनल बातें करता ही नहीं, कहीं ना कहीं पे लॉजिकल एरर करता रहता है, चाहे उसकी एस्टिमेशन में एरर हो, चाहे उसके एक्शंस में एरर हो। उसके बाद फिर सिविक सेंस में बहुत लोग तेज होते हैं, हम इंस्पायर हो जाते हैं कि यार बहुत अच्छा लीडर है, हालांकि सिर्फ सिविक सेंस अच्छी है उसकी, बाकी सब जगह पे वो फ्रॉड, चीट, चोर, जो भी है, यू नो।
अच्छा, आप थोड़ा से जज्बाती हो गए, तो लेट्स कूल
डाउन।
Yes, that's okay. So let's
see why I chose leadership.
तो let's have a little cooler and एक गेम खेलते हैं, ठीक है?
Okay.
Basically, I have a list of words that I'm going to ask you, और उसके आपने रिस्पॉन्स में एक लफ्ज़ बताना है, या you're going to have to, you know, respond to me with a word or a phrase.
What's the category of where I can, because
it's just the first word that comes to your mind.
Okay. So it's a psychological
test.
Okay.
Yeah, pretty much. All right. So we'll start off with an icebreaker.
Tears.
Tears?
Yeah.
Why tears?
See, ये एक और बात है, पाकिस्तान में ट्रेनिंग मिलती है हमें दुनिया में कि नर्वसनेस जो है ना वो आपकी वीकनेस शो करता है, हालांकि वल्नरेबिलिटी इज द ओनली साइन ऑफ ह्यूमैनिटी। और जब आप नर्वस हो एज अ स्पीकर, याद रखिएगा दैट इज व्हाट पीपल विल लव, पीपल विल लव यू फॉर इट, दे विल से यू आर ऑथेंटिक। नर्वसनेस को छुपाया मत करें, इसको आने दिया करें। और वो जो टीयर्स होते हैं ना एक बच्चे के, जब वो स्टेज पे आता है तो that is what people fall in love with. वो बात की बात होती है कि वो क्या कह रहा है. सबसे पहले वो मानते हैं कि यार ये इंसान है. ये जो फेक शैतानी किस्म की स्माइल लेके आ रहे थे ना स्पीकर्स, उनको उनसे डर लगता है मुझे तो कि यार तू किस लेवल पे, how mature are you in whatever the hell you're going to do to me. I need a human being to talk to, not a, you know, an expert of speaking.
All right, my next word is expertise.
Credibility.
Credibility, okay.
Yeah.
Youth.
That was a word.
Yeah.
That's all I can say. I am pretty disappointed in the way youth is being handled by my faculty in every university. I am in a university right now. But I think I am not going to give up hope because no big thing ever came in easily.
Yeah.
And nothing good in the planet happens automatically.
That's true.
So both of these perspectives, I keep on the balance. But youth is something which I am really sad about.
All right.
So that's why I have.
That's why you're working towards this. All right. What about Pakistan? Come on.
There's so much I can think of.
Just one word or a phrase.
A forgotten cause.
A forgotten cause.
A lost mission.
Oh my God, that's very deep.
Yeah.
Oh God. Okay. Education.
Education. A misconception.
Misconception. Inspirations.
Oh, I see a lot of chemicals.
Chemicals.
I see vasopressins. Inspiration is a certain formula.
Yeah.
Okay. It's vasopressin plus adrenaline plus dopamine minus cortisol equals inspiration.
Okay.
So if you can balance that, you can be an inspirational speaker.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Thrill.
Thrill is adrenaline plus cortisol.
Okay. And then motivation.
I think motivation would be no vasopressins, a lot of dopamine, a lot of adrenaline.
No, but I'm asking a word, not the chemical formula for it.
I thought this is going to help way more. When I say motivation, I see a pain, a suffering. If you do not suffer, you're not motivated. You see, वो जो आपने देखा वो ज़ैनब के केस के बाद सब लोग मोमबत्तियाँ लेके बाहर आते हैं, except Zainab's sister and brother. जिनको असल में तकलीफ होती है वो मोमबत्ती लेके बाहर नहीं आता. वो असल में कुछ करने के लिए बाहर आ रहा था. So when you are really suffering, you will forget the candles and you'll start, you know, doing something which is worth doing.
Chale, to sum up your talk with me, is there any message that you would like to give to the audience right now?
Utlubul ilm, आपकी यूनिवर्सिटी का जो है ना, this is something which I want to tell you to do. तालीम से दूर भागें, ये सेक्टर ख़राब हो चुका है, is one of the big viruses in the planet. इल्म की तरफ जाएं, स्कूल और यूनिवर्सिटीज़ की बजाय असातिज़ा ढूंढने जाके मिला करें असातिज़ा से, देखा करें ये वाला उस्ताद जो है ना वो किस तरह के डेप्थ में थॉट की किस तरह का अपर्चर खोलता है. Understand what the word ilm is and you're already there. You'll already give up like every scholar did. Okay, so this is my message to the message that you've written in your own university's emblem. Yeah. So understand what ilm actually means. All
right. Well, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me. Seriously,
it was a pleasure, and it was very enlightening to learn from you.
It's same here. It's always a pleasure coming to universities, and it's an honor. And because maybe some girl or boy is just going to think, and the right reaction is going to take place. That yes, I'm going to come up and do something. I'm not going to be another slave in the
system. Yeah. All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you so much for joining us, Mr.
Thank you for having me. Thank you.
And I will see you guys next time. Take care. Allah Hafiz.
Allah Hafiz.